information like ammunition for future battles. They know exactly which buttons to push to make you angry, sad, guilty, or afraid. Normal people might remember that you had a tough childhood, and they use that information to be more understanding and supportive. But these soulless individuals remember your tough childhood so they can bring it up during arguments to make you feel small and damaged. They weaponize your own vulnerability against you. They also love to test your boundaries to see exactly how much they can get away with. They will push a little bit here, cross a line there, and carefully observe your reactions. If you let something slide, they make a mental note that this particular behavior is acceptable. If you push back, they file that information away and try a different approach next time. What makes this even more inhuman is that they do all of this without feeling any genuine connection to you whatsoever. While you think you are building a meaningful relationship, they are conducting a cold, calculated study of your psychological weaknesses. They see your emotions as data points rather than real human experiences that deserve respect and compassion. This calculated approach to relationships is fundamentally wrong because it treats human beings like objects to be manipulated rather than people to be loved and respected. If this information has opened your eyes to some uncomfortable truths about someone in your life, and you want to support this channel so we can continue sharing these life-changing insights, you can leave a donation by clicking the thanks button just below this video. Every bit of support helps us reach more people who desperately need this information. Now let's continue to the next sign that will blow your mind even more. This next lesson is something that could fundamentally change how you understand power dynamics in every relationship you have for the rest of your life. What I'm about to share with you is not just information. It is a massive wake-up call that you cannot afford to ignore or take lightly. Deep down in places that most people never want to look, these cold-blooded individuals carry a belief about themselves that is so twisted and dangerous that it drives every single interaction they have with other human beings. This belief shapes how they treat you, how they speak to you, and why they feel completely justified in manipulating and using you whenever it serves their purposes. The fourth sign out of 5 is this. They feel superior to everyone around them in a way that goes far beyond normal confidence or healthy self-esteem. We are talking about a grandiose sense of self-worth that is so inflated and so disconnected from reality that it becomes truly frightening when you finally recognize it for what it is. In their minds, they are not just better than you, they are a completely different species of human being. They genuinely believe that they were put on this earth to be served by people like you. They see themselves as naturally gifted leaders, brilliant thinkers, and exceptional individuals who deserve special treatment simply because they exist. Meanwhile, they view everyone else as inferior beings whose primary purpose is to make their lives easier and more comfortable. This superiority complex shows up in ways that are both subtle and obvious. Sometimes they will make condescending comments disguised as helpful advice. They will talk down to you while pretending to care about your well-being. Other times, they will be completely direct about their contempt for other people, making jokes about how stupid everyone else is or how much better they are at everything compared to the people around them. What makes this so emotionally devastating is how they use this sense of superiority to justify treating people like garbage. In their minds, if they are naturally better than you, then it makes perfect sense that they should get what they want while you sacrifice what you need. If they are smarter than you, then obviously their opinions matter more than yours. If they are more important than you, then your feelings and needs become completely irrelevant. This is not just arrogance or having a big ego. This is a fundamental belief system that allows them to hurt people without feeling any guilt or remorse whatsoever. They can lie to you, manipulate you, use you, and throw you away, because in their minds, you were never really a person anyway. You were just a tool that served its purpose. The most heartbreaking part about this is how they can make you start believing their twisted view of reality. When someone treats you like you are worthless for long enough, you might start wondering if maybe they are right. When someone constantly implies that you are not smart enough, not important enough, or not valuable enough, Those messages can start to sink in and poison your own self-image. But here is what you need to understand with every fiber of your being. Their sense of superiority is not based on anything real. It is a defense mechanism that protects them from facing the truth about who they really are. Deep down, they know they are empty inside. They know they lack the basic human qualities that make life meaningful. So they create this fantasy where being emotionally dead somehow makes them special instead of broken. Now, take a moment right now and think back to the relationships in your life that left you walking on eggshells. Remember those times when you found yourself changing your behavior, your words, even your thoughts, because you were terrified of setting someone off. Remember how it felt to live in constant fear of someone's explosive anger, never knowing what small thing might trigger their next violent outburst. If those memories are flooding back right now, if you are feeling that familiar knot in your stomach just thinking about those experiences, then you already know exactly what I am talking about. But what you might not have realized until this very moment is that this pattern of explosive rage is not just someone having a bad temper or going through a stressful time. It is actually a calculated weapon used by cold-blooded individuals to maintain complete control over everyone around them. The fifth and final sign that you are dealing with someone who has no soul is this. They become dangerously angry when they do not get their way.
Yeah.
And that anger is designed to terrify you into submission. This is not the healthy anger that normal people feel when they are genuinely wronged or frustrated. This is a cold, calculated rage that erupts the moment their control over a situation is threatened in any way. Think about the last time you disagreed with someone like this, or tried to set a boundary with them.
Nature, baby.
What happened next probably shocked you with its
you got no soul, baby.
Cruelty. Their face changed. Their voice became something you barely recognized. And suddenly, you were dealing with someone who seemed capable of real violence. The anger was so disproportionate to whatever triggered it that you probably wondered if you were losing your mind. But here is what you need to understand. That explosive reaction was not about whatever small thing you did or said. That rage was about control. The moment you showed any sign of independence, the moment you suggested that maybe your needs mattered too, or the moment you dared to question their authority, you threatened their entire system of power over you. And they simply cannot tolerate
Bingo.
that. What makes this anger so particularly evil is how calculated it
I got bingo.
is. They know exactly how much rage to unleash to get you back in line without going so far that you leave completely.
Bingo.
They have perfected the art of terrorizing you just enough to make you compliant, but not so much that you call the police or run away forever. It is emotional terrorism with surgical precision. After these explosive outbursts, they often follow a predictable pattern. First comes the fake apology, where they blame their anger on stress or childhood trauma or anything except their own choice to use rage as a weapon. Then comes the brief honeymoon period, where they might be unusually nice to you, making you think that maybe things will be different this time. But of course, the cycle always repeats, because the underlying problem never changes. Normal people feel genuinely sorry when their anger hurts someone they care about. They work to understand what triggered their reaction, and they make real changes to prevent it from happening again. But these soulless individuals are not sorry for hurting you. They are only sorry that their anger might have consequences for them. They apologize to protect themselves, not to heal the damage they caused to your emotional well-being. This pattern of explosive anger followed by fake remorse is how they keep you trapped in a cycle of abuse that gets worse over time. Each outburst trains you to be more compliant, more careful, and more willing to sacrifice your own needs to avoid triggering their rage. Eventually, you become so focused on managing their emotions that you completely lose touch with your own. Now that you have seen all 5 signs clearly, you have the power to protect yourself from people who will drain the life out of you without feeling even a moment of genuine remorse. You now know how to spot someone who shows zero emotional response to serious situations, never takes responsibility for their actions, studies people like lab experiments, feels superior to everyone around them,
Candy.
and becomes dangerously angry when they do not get their way.
Candy.
If you choose to ignore these warning signs and go back to accepting
Goodbye,
this
baby.
toxic behavior in your life, you would be making a decision that goes against everything your brain just learned. You would be choosing to stay trapped in relationships that damage your mental health, destroy your self-worth, and waste years of your precious life. After everything you now understand about how these individuals operate, going back to old patterns would be like knowing a building is on fire and deciding to stay inside anyway. The path forward requires you to set firm boundaries and actually stick to them, no matter how much pressure these people put on you to go back to being their emotional punching bag. You have to trust your instincts when they tell you something is wrong, even if the person tries to convince you that you are imagining things. Most importantly, you have to rebuild your confidence by surrounding yourself with people who actually have souls and can treat you with genuine respect and love. Your emotional health is not negotiable, and neither is your right to be treated like a human being instead of a tool for someone else's entertainment. The YouTube algorithm knows exactly what video will serve you best next. So click on that suggested video popping up on your screen right now, because your continued growth and protection depends on staying educated about these